All right, we're going to start out here looking at, I'm going to call it Psi FPV Android version. As you can see here, again, I got that one working. There's a complete description of its functions in the documentation. I'll show you that in a second. Double tap the screen, it centers back. Again, double tap the screen and go back to center. The zoom on this works well. Oh, zoom is not supported 4K. So, that might be why my other one isn't working well. So, we need to take that down to 1080. There we go, 1080. You'll notice this program, I'm going to jump back out of it again. This program, I have to kind of slide the app to the left a little bit to get to those 4 dots at the top, but once I do, I can open it. The top one shows the camera, has the OSD colors, map, etc., etc. I don't have the map turned on. If I turn on the map, you can see it here, and it's in the bottom left corner, kind of like DJI. I'll turn that back off. This has to do with the OSD. I can turn on Mavlink OSD, and now you can see all the stuff along the bottom, etc. for OSD. I'm going to turn that back off. There's a speed units right here, meters per second. Now it's kilometers per hour, kilometers per hour. This is another OSD. I'm not quite sure. Oh, that overlays a text OSD. Not real thrilled with that one. So we'll go back in there. We'll turn that OSD off. Come down here, you can see here we have auto recording, watermark, resolutions, gimbal modes, video output. They say if this is off, it's best. Video output, yep. Latencies, camera version, gimbal version, and then down here we have app version, your general common about. Let's see if that zoom works there. By the way, I got the low gimbal voltage or whatever it was off the screen from last night. There we go. Zoom in. Zoom out. Come on, zoom out. It's hard to get to the little zoom button on the Android version. There we go. Again, we can zoom around whatever. Pan and tilt with this just by scraping fingers across the screen. Double tap twice real quick, and we recenter, which is great for landings. So you sort of see how this version works. See, I think oops. The top button does modes, I think, from this screen. The next one down takes a snapshot. The next one down starts record and shuts off record. So that's the Android version of this program. Let me show you real quick on the internet where I got this program from. So if we look right here under the A8 Mini, there's your downloads. And you can see right here we have Sci FPV program, which is what I was just showing you on my Android. Here's where I got it. They also have Sci Q ground control. I don't know if this is a modified version of Q ground control or not. I haven't got that far. That's my next step. Or if it's just they have normal Q ground control linked here. Not sure. So here's your Windows software. This is an assistant. Helps set up, upgrade various things with the program. I'll show you that. Then here is Sci FPV for Windows. And here's Sci Q ground control. And then there's the firmware and manuals down here. That's what is available. If we look over here, this is the ground unit and the air unit. If we go into its downloads area, we'll see basically the same thing. Here's Sci FPV for Android, Sci Q ground control for Android, Sci FPV for Windows, Sci Assistant for Windows, and Sci Q ground control for Windows. Here's the firmware and manuals for the air unit and ground unit. So that's where all of those came from. So here is the Windows version of that Sci FPV. It's a little different. If I scrape through with the mouse, see it turns blue. This isn't as sensitive on panning and tilting as the other one is. That buzzing and interference you hear is because I had the ground station sitting over here right next to where my headset goes into the computer. Sorry about that. A little easier with this. I think I might still prefer to have it on a pot on the TX16S. Now you can't double click this screen. Click, click. To go back to center. Let's see if the zoom works here. Yeah. I see why the zoom wasn't working last night. Let's see if it unzooms. You have to come over here and click this to go back to center. It centers it, but it sure doesn't unzoom it, does it? Again, on this, we have a map down here. Up here we can click these three buttons. Here's where you set up the camera. It shows you the camera's firmware. Here is where the modes are. Not quite the same as the Android version, is it? Here is information about signal quality and such. And about. That's it on this one. Well, here's a map. I've got it set to Google Map for this over here. But did you notice there's no OSD in this? This right here, you can turn on auto recording. You can play with the resolution. But it doesn't say 720, it does say 2K or 4K. By the way, let's see, if I put it in 2K mode, we can still zoom. There's a little funkiness in this that if you put it in 4K mode, the zoom quits, but it doesn't come up with anything on the screen to tell you it can't do it. like the Android version does. It just acts like this program doesn't zoom. Whatever. Now in 2K mode, you can zoom again by clicking these. I don't know if you can move. Nope, you can't move that around. Again, this takes a snapshot. This starts recording video, and this is your zoom function. Again, there's nothing about OSD in this program or anything like that. There seems to be a little OSD down here. Where are we zoomed in on here? Ah, China, looks like. So I'm not sure how all of this works with cool with telemetry and stuff going, but because I haven't gotten the telemetry going. But there's the differences in those two programs. Now this program's running on Windows right now, so this could run on my Toshiba notebook ground station in the field along with Mission Planner and stuff. I have been trying to get that Q ground control working. That's this right here. This is the Windows version. Haven't played with the Android version yet. And you can see right here, it's waiting for video. I've still got to figure out how they do their IP addresses and stuff for this. Here's us here in Asheville. Ah, by the way, while I'm here, see if I can find it. Yeah. Thursday of this week, my wife has to do a seminar in this town right here, Florence, South Carolina, which is where the school is located. She does the grant for. She does that from the house here and then travels all over the United States doing seminars and stuff. Her and several other people working the grant. So we're here in Asheville. Thursday we'll get up early in the morning and drive to here. Friday morning she gives the seminar at the school there at Florence Darlington. And then after she's finished with that, we're going to drive on to Myrtle Beach right here and spend about 4 days. I mean, we're so close. What the hey? Go get some good seafood. That's kind of off the subject. I was just showing you. So this right here, this would be good in Q ground control. You can pop it up full screen. It's waiting on video. It exchanges the screen, kind of like ArduPilot does. Or this would go full screen. Oops, actually this goes full screen. But I haven't quite gotten this working yet. And again, I'm not sure if this is just normal Q ground control. From what I can tell from this right here, it is. I'm not sure if there's a Psi version of it. And this is where right now I'm having trouble getting this going. I don't think any of this would matter for it, but it would be nice to have a video here and be able to scroll on it and pan and zoom the gimbal. Turn it off and on, because if I do this through S-Bus or PWM, I'd need a channel for pan, I'd need a channel for tilt. I probably wouldn't be doing roll, so we'll just throw that out. You could have a channel for zoom. That's 3 so far. You could have channel for start and stopping the video. You could have a channel for taking pictures. That's 5 channels right there out of 16. That leaves me 11 for control. So I really don't want to do this with S-Bus or PWM. I want to do it with these applications, even if I have to run, in addition to Q ground control and or ArduPilot, run this at the same time to pan and zoom the setup, and then switch back to Q ground control or mission planner when I have to. Trying to get these consolidated. But so far it's slow going. Really is slow going. If you look at the manual for this, let's see, let's go down to about page 85 in this darn thing. I've read it so many times I'm starting to almost know where things are supposed to be. This right here on 80 starts talking about the Psi FPV app. This is all the OSD information it can put in it. Again, the Windows version doesn't allow me to change these things. The Android version does. Don't know if the Q ground control version will have any of this in it or not. But if you go down through this, you'll see here some of the stuff I was talking about. Photograph, record, zoom in, zoom out. This close shot and long shot doesn't seem to exist on that application, either one of them. This starts going down through what you get when you touch these 3 buttons, of which there's actually 4 on the program. This decode doesn't seem to be in the applications either. This starts telling you information about it, what they're showing you here. You can see here, OSD enabled, disabled, standard OSD information here, Mavlink OSD. So this is pretty good, although it doesn't really work in the Windows version at all. Also shows you can upgrade firmware through these apps. Didn't find that to be true in either one of them. Let's see, there was some other statements here. Anyway, this is the about page. That's about 5 pages. It sort of gives you an idea of what the Psi FPV program will do for you. So, my next thing to get this going will be getting this working with Q ground control. Oh, by the way, not sure which page it's on, or if it's in this part of the manual or in the manual for the ground unit and the air unit. Here's a page with common IP addresses for the cameras, the gimbal, etc., etc. This is what I put into Q ground control. Didn't seem to work. Perhaps I'll try some of these on it. Anyway, I just wanted to do a little update. I've gone one step further. I've actually got the Psi FPV working on Windows that I could put on my notebook in the field and be able to control all this. I didn't really think the Android version, although it does more functions working in it. I think they're working all this up for the first time. It does work. So I'm getting close to functionality. I do need to put this in the airplane to get it near the flight controller. There's various functions that come from the flight controller we'll talk about later. But my next step is to work on getting it working in Q ground control, any flavor of it, and get it working in Mission Planner. And then I'll be pretty much finished with it, I hope. So far it's going pretty good. This was just another update for today. All right, guys. Thank you.